puppies.
Stuff and things.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to Mechs on Deck. It's Tuesday. And
how's it going?
We're here. It's good, man. How are you?
Good, man. I'm a little tired. Just didn't sleep well last night, but the best parts about I typically don't have bad nights of sleep 2 nights in a row, especially if I'm on break. So usually I just like take one Benadryl and then I'm just like dead for 10 hours. So excited for tonight to get some rest and hopefully go Bucks. I don't know if people follow basketball, but I'm really hoping Giannis closes it out at home tonight.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that were like Suns and 4.
Suns and 4, yeah. And it looked like that after the first 2.
Yeah. So they came back on a tear. Although, as much as I would love for Giannis to win,
I want Chris Paul to get one.
Yeah, it's
like,
his
he's
time.
He's such a likable guy.
Like the amount
I don't care. I don't like Devin Booker. Yeah.
For the NBA, like, because he's like the head of the Players Association.
He's like the president of the NBPA or whatever it's called. It's crazy, but how's your week going, man?
It's good. It's busy at work. It's just we're in the time of someone is going to be out basically now until Black Friday. Yeah. Like
jeez.
Because one of the girl that I work with, and I think I said this last week, she just left for having a baby. She had a baby last Wednesday. And so she's out for the next like 8 to I think she's out for 10 weeks. So it's the workload of 3 people is now down to 2 people. So a lot of stuff to get done during the day. So it's busy, but it's nice because it's not, you don't have those moments where you're kind of twiddling your thumbs. You always have something you can be doing. So
that's always really nice. The worst is when you're just sitting there waiting for the end of the day.
What about you? You gearing up for the next school year?
Gearing up by not thinking about it. So no, it'll be. Last year was such a diversion from anything. I mean, that's kind of for everyone, right? But this year will bring new and interesting challenges. Um, Also, like you get used to doing one thing. You know, you do one thing for so long, and then it changes for a year, and then you have to go back to doing the old thing. So it's just like changes are annoying. Also, our bot didn't ping, so that's fun. I just pinged it. So anyone who is here, if it double pings, sorry, I need to go look at ye old Meeseek's bot because it's been slacking. It's been slacking on the job. But no, other than that, I hurt myself in probably the dumbest way I've hurt myself in a while since. I'll tell that story in a second. But I was using the back roller thing, and my shirt was pretty loose, and it like slipped, and I wound up so it slammed on the ground, and then I wound up falling on like the edge of it. So I have this bruise that's like that big on my back. That was
I've
not
done the same
fun.
thing.
Yeah, it fucking hurts.
That's
Just like
I very immediately. If you don't know what we're talking about,
I'll just get it. Mine's literally right here.
they're like back roller things. Yeah, and they don't cover the entire back. They just cover like a little bit of your back. Like it's like your spine plus a little bit. Yeah, I'm only shirts off when I'm doing that because
Yeah, I haven't had any issues, but it was the shirt that I was wearing was one bigger and looser and too slick. So yeah, I love this thing. I can't, like I used it at Eric's place literally once and it popped like every bone in my back. And I've got bad back problems just from being a big guy. Also slipping a disc like 10 years ago, but that'll do it. But yeah, so, and it's like one of those bruises that's like, it's in a spot where it's like, you're fine day to day, but then you like reach for something awkwardly and you're like, oh, I'm now like in paralyzing amounts of agony. It was so, I don't do anything to get myself hurt really. Like,
Yeah.
I'd leave a pretty lazy, I should say. I walk, but like that's literally walking.
Yeah.
But I don't do like sports or anything. And I buckled my knee on one of those like the parking blockers that like prevent you from slamming your car into the curb.
Ooh.
I like buckled my knee and that literally hurt for like 6 weeks. That was annoying. And then, but like 2 years ago, probably the dumbest injury I think I've ever had is I bruised my hip. I was putting my shorts on. I think I told you this because this happened like a night that we were all hanging out, and I was putting my shorts on, and I put my left leg through the right hole without realizing it. And so I was putting my right leg in, and I didn't realize that had happened. And so I started losing my balance. And so my immediate reaction was, okay, put your right foot down so you can have both your feet on the ground. But my foot had gotten stuck, and I wear like real slick pants. So when I slam my right foot on the ground to gain balance, I'm basically wearing a fucking polyester sock at that point. And I winds up sweeping both my own foot out from under me. And I slam like hip to the ground. It shook the entire apartment. And I can't remember. I mean, it's probably been since rugby that I've hurt where I was in that much pain. And then I'm in there and my wife walks in. She's like, oh my God, like the whole house is shaking. Like, are you okay? Is everything okay? And I'm like writhing in pain. And then I start laughing because of just the stupidity of that. I was like, she's like, are you crying? I was like, it's like, no, this happened because I literally put both my legs in one of the shorts.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, I was in pain for that. That hurt for like a week.
It's like one of those moments when you're mad. Like, I don't know about you, and I'm pretty sure you get the same way. Like when I hurt myself, I'm like angry.
Yeah.
But then I'm also like laughing because
Yeah.
I'm like
You
an
can't help it.
idiot.
You can't help it. Yeah, you can't help but laugh at stupid shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, the one thing that will make me angrier than anything is when my pocket gets hung on something.
Mm,
That will make me like punch a drawer.
dude.
I'll take my anger out on an inanimate object. How many bids for a reenactment? I don't know. Enough to buy some Advil. So probably not a lot. No. But no,
Keyboards.
Keyboards. Yeah, exactly. Keyboards. Quick shout out to our awesome keyboard sponsors. We've got OmniType, Canon Keys, Zap Cables, and Kinetic Labs, as well as our awesome partners, Zap Cables, Type B, Smith & Rune, 3D Keys. We'll hear more from them in a little... Excuse me. Ooh. Excuse me. Sorry. We'll hear more from them in a little bit. First off, what's on your desk? You showed me right before we went on. I know you're excited to show it off. What's on your desk, and did you get any mail?
Yeah, so I don't really have any mail. I did get, you might be able to see it. There's a giant tube sitting on my like counter back there.
Mm-hmm.
That's the Dave came over and dropped off the poster, the Keeb Town poster. So I got that as well as all the stickers. But as far as what is on my desk, it's an oldie but a goodie. I know Mr. Quakeums, which shout out to Top Clack for the 20 months while we were in there, the starting soon. He built his Sirius. He got a polycarb Sirius. I am using my Palm Sirius with GMK Bingsu. It's got novel keys, the Nolive creams, and then I put on the not Tyler one. Oh my gosh, Travis Scott one. Travis Scott one. Moses and Observer from Lividity, and I think it looks really nice. It's a little bit of brown, a little bit of pink, a little bit of white. I think it goes kind of well. It's not exact in the color, obviously, because it's not meant to be a Bingsu collab, but I think it looks really good. So I'm excited about that. I'm gonna use this for a couple days. I've been missing the feel and the sound of a palm plate.
Yeah. Yeah, especially with the Bauer out of commission currently.
Yeah,
so it's got some Neapolitan Observer.
Ooh,
it's got brown, pink, and white. So
true.
We'll talk more about Neapolitans in a few.
What about
but
you?
No, for me, mail I'll go through in just a second. But I using my Crown. Yeah, it's round 2, right? It's round 2 months, so it just kind of worked out that we're both using Botanical and Bingsu round 2s. I've got some Tanuki leaves. The Animal Crossing kind of works. Doesn't match color wise, but it's got the leaves. It works. These are the 98-gram creams. You heard that correctly. Brass plate. This was a private group buy by Blind Assassin and my only TKL, but it's great. It weighs a bajillion pounds and it's amazing. So both creams too.
Yeah,
Cream week.
We're feeling creamy.
I'm feeling extra creamy. Mail. I mean, I told you I got a Kindle.
Hell yeah.
I like reading now. The older I get, the more I relate to
doing old man shit.
Well, Craig T. Robinson on Daryl on The Office when he's like, oh yeah, let's go hit on chicks at the library, and then he's like, oh shit, you can put 10,000 books on this thing. I'm like, I'm getting old. I thought the Travis Scott one was a Happy Meal. I mean, you're not wrong.
Was it actually?
I don't know if the Travis Scott one was a Happy Meal. I think it was just called like the Travis Scott Happy Meal.
What was the Travis Scott? Wasn't it like?
It was like a bacon cheeseburger, fries, and a
barbecue sauce with the
barbecue
fries?
sauce and like a
and a Sprite.
Travis Scott McDonald's. Let's see what it is. Medium Sprite, a quarter pounder with bacon and fries and barbecue sauce.
You know what? Not a
The
bad
guy can, and not bad, and the guy can market himself. I mean, he was in like Fortnite, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, props. His marketing team is all over everything. Nothing but respect. Um, but no, I also got. I think I showed this off, but I'm going to be working on this while we talk. So old, out with the old, and with the new. There's some stickers on here that, well, we've got this one, which obviously needs to be updated. And I don't even have an official one, but I'm just going to use this one because this is my favorite part of the entire poster is the Omnitype over the thing. So I'm going to be working on putting some stickers. And I've got my Canon Keys sticker. I've got the updated Heine sticker. I've got Prime Caps because got to support the homies. Zap. I've got Omnitype. So I need a new Project Keyboard one. I need Project Keyboards. Kinetic Labs I don't think has stickers. And I need to get another Type Beast one too, because as well as Smith and Rune. I've got the Type Beast one.
I've got the really old project one.
Yeah,
I don't even think
that's
this is their.
That's the one. That's I've got that one too, and that's the one. That's not like the current one. That better be filled with purple drank. Well, I'd like to be alive by the end of this, so I think 40 ounces of purple drank would probably kill me.
You're a big dude, but you're not that big. You're not big enough to handle that.
I'm not that big, and I'm not wheezy. Not wheezy. Yeah, is it wheezy? I can't remember. He's got like eight. Lil Wayne's got no. Wheezy is Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
Yeezy is Kanye because that makes sense. So I'm going to be working on that, and so we're going to talk about aluminum, but we're going to talk about that in a few. I want to update. I made Zykos. The joke that Eric and I did. I'm going to continue to call these Zykos because I changed one element. I don't want to rename everything. But they're Zykos, but I put Anubis tops on them. We nicknamed them Xanos switches. So if I ever say Xanos, just know I mean Zykos with Anubis. Although there was some hilarious like people trying to name the switch, which I think is hilarious because 45 different names for one switch is fucking hilarious. As far as I'm concerned, these are murky switches. So
yeah, dude, murkies. They got the green. You know, it's the algae in the water. It's sitting on top of the clear, which is the water beneath. Algae's on top. And then you got the dude that's just trying to survive in the middle with the Halo True Stem.
Absolutely. So one thing that I really like. Now they're snug, right? You do have to go back and you have to go to every single switch and press down. But one thing that I'll show. Come on, get off my ring. It fits snug. So the issue a lot of the times, is those pins would be flared out.
Yeah.
But they're in there. And so for those who don't remember, I built my key cult about a year ago with Zykos, and it was a nightmare because they were so tight in the plate. And I put a few of these in there because I plan on just rebuilding that, but with better Zykos, as a lot of the tops were breaking. These just slid right in. And I was like, whoo. And then for those who don't know, we discovered these have that little top pin. So these specifically I'm not concerned with because they've already been soldered. But if you are, there's a lot of great switches that I suggest you try before going to Zykos. So there's my preface. But if you're looking for something crazy and you have all the pieces, by all means. But these have the little switch pin holders. So when you put it in, you're not going to fuck up the leaf. And you now can have hot swap Zykos, which is not something that really was a thing. Like I said, again, honestly, just Anubis with 69 gram symmetric springs is 98% of the way there. So
Hey guys, how's it going?
I don't personally see the need at this point to. I have a shit ton of Anubis switches, as does Eric. So I was like, well, let's find something. And I want to take the stems from the Anubis and put them in the sunflower switches. So I was like, okay, well, I've already got what I'm going to be using most of the switch for anyway, so why not? Exo Squid, hello. So excited to build the key colt. I'm working on something with that key colt, but excited to get that built with the new switches. But Neapolitans. So we talked about this because you and I spoke with Upas the other day about this. And for those, we talked about this Saturday. Neapolitan switches, the stem issue, all of that. So we spoke with Upas very briefly about it. He told me and he told Eric that he would look into it about the stem tolerance because we had talked about it was tactile switches, right?
Right.
And I went and checked the coffee chip switches didn't have that issue. So now, as we've been kind of making the assumption that Neapolitans and salmon switches are very similar, they might just be the same stem.
Yeah.
And that stem mold could be fucked up, which would affect both, again, the salmon and the Neapolitan switches. So hopefully there's the update is that Kanekys is looking into it, which is good.
Which would also explain why the other, like the Kingfishers and whatnot, don't have the same issues, notably, as the Neapolitans and the salmons have. But hopefully they can get that fixed, and hopefully they can get them out. I'm sure that they will. Seems like Texie being more up and coming in terms of involvement with the community and providing a lot of different switches. I'm sure they'll want to not be the next Kale. But as Upas said, he was like, well, I guess it's better to be loose than to be too tight.
Yep.
It's like, yeah, it's true. It's true. Because I think the interesting thing that I know I've had with a discussion I've had with other people has been, where would Kale be had Boxgate not happened?
Yeah.
Because Kale's like non-existent at this point. Like they
Outside
still
of
exist.
they have creams. That's about it. So, which creams are still great, but even then, now we're starting to see the molds for creams are starting to get. We're starting to see wear and tear on them.
Yeah. Well, and there's other companies making all palm switches.
Yeah, with the sunflowers and Texie on Bookface looking for more vendors. That's kind of funny, actually. Like 100%. Should we be back to back, by the way, or should we be like
front to front? I don't know.
Front to front. You guys chat. Let me know. Back to back, front to front. Molds for creams wearing out. Hey, I want to sell vent creams. Old stock 5 switch. People, what was it? The fucking olives, man.
I was about to say,
selling.
I've got the olives, which are guaranteed to be old stock because they only made them once, and it was like right after they released the creams, a couple months after they released them.
I'm excited because the creams that I have are like literally from the pre-order when he was like, "We're making Palms creams." I was like, "Sold, sure, why not? Let's try it." I've got 80 worn-in stock creams in that bag just sitting there. Does your bag still smell like fish?
Dude, if it does, that's impressive.
That would be funny.
Alhex, yeah, it's all definitely a little bit of all three, you know.
Always. I'm gonna get these stickers on, and then we're going to. I did a lot of research for tonight's episode. There we go. Boom.
Ooh, yeah. Front to front was definitely the way to go. I don't know, honestly, if I'm going to use mine. I kind of want to I like the idea of like keeping them
like in the sheet.
Yeah. Like having it for forever, you know, because that'll be a thing. Fine. But what are you going to do with your poster? Have you decided where you're putting it? Have you already gone through the process?
It's going to go right there.
Okay.
I've got, so literally right off camera, there's this big Green Bay picture that I have. But I'm going to move that somewhere in this room, and then it'll hang. I'll move this kind of up some, and then that will hang there. So it's visible. I haven't gone. I need to look at the measurements for it, but I know, like, I definitely am going to get it framed. I just need to like actually go and like do that because it's not like I don't have all the fucking time in the world. Anyway, let's get into it. So a funny story came to me in the way of Langlandia. For those who don't know, we're seeing this cool kind of new way of making your boards more unique, and that's through the way of patinaing, like and like forcing the patina to happen. This isn't anything new. This has been something that's happened for a while. I mean, people do this all the time, just in like metal and art and all of that. But people are starting to go, okay, well, what can we do? Yeah, taping the PCB. Yeah. But like, how can we make things look better, right? Or look more unique, right? Just more artistic. The first person I saw really do this a lot was Luke from Smith and Rune. He kind of forced patinaed his Iron 165, which I really liked. Lang has done his a bunch. Lang has done a lot of cool stuff. He did the Pikachu board, the Piku Ortho, the Ortho Chew. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah.
Ortho Chew, like by Keeb Noobs. Or not by Keeb Noob, but Keeb Noobs Ortho Chew. And this really cool blue patina. And it's a lot to do with like what like what chemicals you're adding to. I'm by no means the expert, but there's some really cool things that people are doing. I'm going to give a shout out, obviously to Lang, but Knee Deep Patinas does some fantastic stuff. And I'm actually gonna post. I'm just gonna fucking send this to you because this picture is so fucking cool. And I didn't even know. I don't remember. I'd have to look up whose this is because I don't remember, and like I honestly couldn't tell you. But they did the Baka 80 or the Baka 60. And they did the patina, but check out his Instagram, Knee Deep Patinas. He does amazing work, and just some really, really cool stuff. And it's just that added layer, right? We've seen custom anodizing, but yeah, this is fucking insane.
Yeah, dude, this is nuts.
I don't remember who has number 15, but like that looks so good.
Yeah, dude. It's nuts.
Yeah. So just again, another way to make your board yours. And I really, really like that. It's something I like this new way of being creative, right? You're able to like, I'm excited to see, was it the Allison board where the entire back is just a big slab of brass. Yeah, the Tengu one he did was fantastic. They have the key colt there. Like the guy does excellent work. So it's again, we've seen I've seen people. There's that famous like TGR with the lightning anodization, and while that's cool, I kind of like this better because it's like it's hidden, right? Or when you do something like the Iron 165 where the badge is just that pop of, it's like its own artisan. So again, check out this guy. He like does commissions. Like you can reach out to him. He's a really, I've chatted with him for a little bit. He's a really cool guy. So anyway, so Lang's been experimenting with patinaing and heat treating and all of that, and different colors at different temperatures and what you want to do. And this led to him making an error he did not foresee would be an issue in terms of heat treating, in that he took his Time TKL plate, and those who don't know, the Time TKL has arguably the most unique weight designs ever. It's a board that Eric and I have both been huge fans of, and it's an older board.
Yeah.
They ran a second run. In terms of functionality, the board's a solid board, but you're not getting the board. That's kind of the art piece over functional keyboard type thing. But his aluminum plate melted, which Lang's a smart guy. You know, I give him a lot of shit. He's a smart guy.
Yeah, he is.
He did the math on what it's supposed to be able to heat treat. For those who don't know, 99% of the aluminum that's in our hobby is either is we'll go through the grades here in a little bit about and their differences, but it's either 663 or 6063 or 6061. 6063 being what typically is told to people, but it melted. And it shouldn't have, because they weren't this plate. The plate was not used for this metal, which brings up a lot of interesting questions about manufacturing and what to expect from manufacturers and all that stuff. So it piques my curiosity about, kind of makes you think, like, disclaimer, don't fucking go melt your boards to see, like, for the love of God.
Yeah. Yeah, and as X not in, I'm assuming it's X not in X, like MySpace days. But no, as he says, something different for plates. That's obviously very, very plausible as well. It brings up the question of, with the patinaing becoming more popular, people doing more creative things with the metal, should then, like, Group by runners make it known what type of metals they're using.
Mm-hmm.
Because we've seen that there are some where it's listed as 6063 or 6062, any 6000 series. Should they make that more known?
We've seen a few 7000 where they're like, hey, I'm using an even higher grade aluminum. For those, I tried my darndest to become an aluminum expert in 30 minutes for the stream. The big difference between, like, the 5000, the 5XXX alloys. I'm gonna post this website that if you really want to get into the nitty gritty, go there. There's a lot of links. This is just kind of what I went through, but a lot of it has to do with the level of magnesium that's put into, because it's not raw aluminum. It's an alloy, so it's mixed. But it's the level of magnesium in the 5XX alloys and then silicon going into the 6000 alloys that will help them be sturdier and more better for, like, structural integrity of the actual aluminum. And we've talked, so there's another website that Eric sent me right before the stream as we were talking about this. And it's the difference between 6061 and 6063. And this is a big one because the biggest difference here is finish quality. The finish of a keyboard is under scrutiny at all times. And this is the biggest one to me. This is the biggest, like, back and forth is like, well, if it's 660, if you're using 661, you're not going to get the nicest quality of finish. You're going to have a harder time achieving a higher quality finish than you would at 6063. And kind of back to the plate thing, they never said if it was 550. They never said, and quite frankly, no one really asked. No one very rare that people will go up and be like, hey, what aluminum are you using?
Yeah, and I don't think, and as Gnarly Charlie for you brings it up, like no one's obliged to. Um, I don't think that should necessarily be an expectation, and that's not necessarily what we're getting at. I think we're talking about maybe some things that just like having a discussion about this happening has brought into like other ideas of what could happen, because different aluminums are more readily available than others, especially in the like blocks that are needed for making keyboards. Like you can't machine a keyboard out of a tube of aluminum. It needs to be a block. And Grandma Strong, what up? If I
I think
paid
that's
$500, Grandmaster Wrong.
Grandmaster on.
I like Grandma Grandma
Mahogany.
Mahogany, dude. Hey, it's okay. But no, I think, and the big thing that we were talking about is obviously a lot of vendors are getting their boards made overseas. A lot of them come from China. Some of them have moved to the States. Some of them have moved full in-house. So the thing about doing it overseas is that you're not in full control. You're not in full visibility of what type of aluminum that they're doing. And this was something that we talked about before the stream of like, that was kind of like an aha moment. One of the biggest differences between 6061 and 6063, 61 is easier to machine than 63. So that's a plus for the machining process, which is what they care about. But the surface quality of it, meaning what and how it'll handle things like anodization and stuff, is lower quality of 6061 than it is 6063. So the thing that I brought up and would be interesting to find out is that if some of these boards that are either having to be remanufactured or having issues, if they change around the aluminum used in order to make it either easier or have different characteristics, do they shift from 63 to 61, which could cause some issues, which maybe is maybe something, obviously I don't know this for sure. We don't, but it's an assumption of maybe could be some of the reasoning behind boards that have different anodizations, like whether
Top
it's
and bottom.
top and bottom being different colors, the textures being off, and there is a pricing difference between each grade. There definitely is. The prices for aluminum are always fluctuating, and I think at any given time, one could just shoot up in price if it's just no longer available. But I'm pretty sure someone that's smarter than me, 6061 is one of the most available aluminums. 6063 is less available than 61. So
I would assume, because and the other thing too, just peek inside for the baka and the squid. We ask for 6063. Now I think I made a public post saying it's 6063. I'm actually interested if I said it on the Squid 60 interest check. But it's one of those things where I'm like, I didn't, I'm curious to know if people are going to start asking about this. I don't. One, it's hard to test. It's unless you're there, unless you have a very good way of testing it. So, all the squids I could say, I ordered 6063. They could all be 6061. Hell, the tops could be, like Eric said, the tops could be 6061 and the bottoms could be 6063, and I wouldn't fucking know. I would have no idea. The tops are easier to machine. And at the end of the day, if they're like, well, we're competent in our ability to anodize, to hide everything, then maybe it is. Maybe you find boards that are okay. Well, this has a lot of, machine marks because it was harder to machine. Maybe the machine marks is okay. Maybe that was 6063. Maybe that's all these are maybes, but it brings up, a lot of questions of right now, metals are expensive. I'm not exactly thrilled about getting quotes for the Baka 70 because I know it's going to be way more than I want to charge for it. But it's just the way of on top of the fact that the PCBs are going to be really expensive. The fucking boards are going to be expensive too. All of this machine costs. So it wouldn't surprise me if you go, I want 6063, and they go, yeah, I got it. And then they go over and use 6061 anyway.
Yeah, especially if it's something where it's like, we don't have enough, but we have a whole bunch of 61 sitting over there. Let's just do it. Let's just fill the order. And as Thrilly says, Chinese manufacturers are pretty notorious for subbing different materials if it suits them. And I can imagine that. I can imagine that is something that they do, because the differences I feel like are in terms of 6000 series are probably pretty minute and are pretty hard to discern without like a lot of testing. There's going to be people who will know right off the bat, like they will know because they're way smart and they understand metals way more than we do. But the big thing is if they go to something like a 5000 series where you could pass it off, but then all of a sudden now it's completely a different characteristic, and maybe there are some things that you're planning on doing, like for instance, if you're trying to Cerakote a board, maybe it reacts to Cerakote a little differently. Maybe it changes the way that the board reacts to the anodization. Maybe colors that you had expected, or like for instance, the Baka, you had gotten, say, Baka 60 came in certain colors. You get those same colors, or Squid 60 came in certain colors as well. You get the same colors in Baka 70, and they come out looking way different because they used a different aluminum.
Yeah. Yeah, it's and there's no, and then what do you do, right? You can't go back and be like, do it again, because they're just going to send you the exact same shit. Like, so you're really, so what this leads me to is there is a lot of benefits to people like Salvin and Keycolt who know exactly, well, hopefully, I would assume, they know exactly what they're using. If someone says, hey, I'm using 6063, it's him doing it. He's literally the one machining it. So that, and Keycolt, they literally are the guys that are taking the bricks of aluminum and putting them in. So it kind of is like, well, yeah, that's the benefit. I mean, we see that a lot, right? You see that a lot with like beer and drinks, right? Where it's like, if it's a smaller brewery, well, then that stuff's probably going to be better because they have a lot more control over what's going on. They're not going to be cutting corners, but you're also going to be paying more. Guess what? Keycolts are more expensive. Guess what? Salvin boards typically are a little bit more expensive than some of the runs right now. And then there's the other thing too is, Blind and I were looking into, so for the Baka 40, he's like, hey, I've got this new manufacturer I'm trying out with a board that's offering significantly cheaper costs, but they're only going to run boards that are like the size of a 40%. I'm like, okay, well, maybe, be very open about it and go, hey, I'm going to be running this not through the exact same manufacturer. And I'm wondering if maybe that price is because they're using 6061 instead of 6063. Now with plates and, the 5052, that's a whole nother story, because like in the research that I did there, it was 5052 is like hard to machine. It's typically used in like, I think that was the one that I used for, it's really good against saltwater corrosion.
Yeah.
So it's typically it's going to be used for more like marine, like machinery. So, I mean, if you want to use your board like on a boat, then maybe consider getting a 50.
You got a convertible and you live up in the freaking Northeast. They got those salt on the roads. get that top down, you can be typing away, and you don't have to worry about that salt corrosion from the salt on the because you
Absolutely.
got 50/50 tube.
You're there. So, but yeah, there's just a lot of it raised a lot of questions. And, the biggest one is, are they at fault? Well, no, because no one asked.
Yeah.
Like, no one asked. So it's like, and they didn't say, hey, this is going to be made out of this metal. And not a lot of people do. And I'm curious to know if we'll start seeing the trend of, well, what metal is it? And, because you were even saying about with Top Clack, like what you asked Brian.
Yeah, I did. I asked Brian if there was an expectation, and he was basically like, I mean, I feel like most people would probably assume the board is made out of 6,000 series. And I think that's a fair assumption. Is that it would be made out of 6,000 series aluminum. Obviously, there are other types. There's, all the way up to 6 and beyond 6. So I'll be interested to see if people, because I think that's also another way to change the way a board reacts and the way it sounds. That was a point that Brian also brought up. He said, I wonder if people are changing around the different alloys between them due to characteristics, right? Like if you're prototyping a board significantly and you're experimenting with different aluminum alloy, I will be interested to see as the community gets deeper and deeper and as we get more in-house stuff from different vendors, will they start experimenting with the way that different aluminums, all the way down to the way they sound?
Yeah,
because that would be crazy. That would be nuts. I feel like that would be insane.
Eek.
Yeah, and I did talking about the Salvin and the Keycolts. I do wonder if part of the reason why Keycolt wanted to move in house was because of some of those inconsistencies. Because sometimes they're paying for a certain metal, getting something different.
It's incredibly plausible. I mean, that would make sense. Like if you're like Mechs on Deck, right? Mechs on Deck, we wouldn't outsource things.
Right.
We wouldn't like go, hey, we're just going to trust someone on the other side of the planet to produce something that we're going to then stamp our name on and trust them to just do it right without us being there. And all we get to see is the end product with a very minimal chance of them being able to change. It's like, hey, it'd be like us paying an editor and then basically posting it to YouTube. And then if we don't like it, then we have to go back after it's already public. We would never do that. Eric and I, we take pride in what we do. So we want to have, Eric and I want to have control over that. We don't want to give up that control. And that's something that I think Keycolt did, which is like, hey, we want control 100% over what we do. And that's respectable. They
also were buying 2 of everything, which was crazy. Which, like, if you think about that from a business aspect, you sell 50, they sell 50 boards, they buy 100. And that's how they were able to have the QC that they did, because they had a backup for every single board that was out.
Now they do sell those backups.
Yeah, if they're good enough.
They don't throw away 50 boards, but
they do have some that don't make it.
Yeah, I'd venture to say that there are at least a handful that are given away to friends and close family as C stocks. Like my Keycolt was a B stock for there's literally the tiniest little dot on there that I was like, oh, come on. Like that could have literally happened in shipping.
Yeah.
Like from the board to me. So yeah, it's an interesting side to this hobby that I feel like we haven't really talked about a whole lot. About because I mean, again, I'm as much as a keyboard designer as someone who calls himself an artist that only does scribbles on the bottom of a desk. I don't know the ins and outs of aluminum. I I know how to run group buys and I know how to put pieces together. But when it comes to like aluminum, I literally had to sit here and teach myself a lot of this stuff. And I would go check out those links again. You know, it's worth knowing. If you're someone who's wanting to learn more about the hobby and more about the kind of ins and outs of aluminum of all the boards, then yeah, I would go check. I mean, it's all congratulations. You can either ignore it or you can learn something new.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's an interesting thing. I think it's something like you said, we don't really think about. We just assume, oh, it's aluminum, or
Yeah.
oh, obviously, oh, it's plastic, or like different type of plastic. Gnarly Charlie for you says, I think we'll see people putting out full brass boards before we see artisanal aluminum experimentation.
100%.
Maybe, but it would be cool. It would be cool to see.
The other thing too is swapping out materials. This would not be the first time we've seen this in this hobby. When it comes to switches, there's been speculation and a few minor confirmations about certain switch manufacturers that promise one thing and deliver another. In terms of plastics, we haven't really seen this in terms of metal, but in terms of plastics, yeah, we've seen switches say, "Oh, it's good. It's a nylon switch," and no, it's actually a PC switch because it's cheaper to make, and they didn't want to do that, or they made it in that. So again, we're a hobby that's at the hands of mass manufacturing on the other side of the planet.
Yeah, absolutely. And there was multiple all brass boards. Exclusive does one. Like every time they do a special edition. Ralma had a couple.
There's
Piggy, elephant.
your board. The
orange.
The orange 75 had a full brass.
It did. It had a full brass option.
What else had the full brass? I've been wanting to do a Bacchus 60. Like just like 5 or 10. Mainly just so I can have one, and then like that's the only time I plan on serializing ever again. Is I would do a brass version, and it would be called like BV01, BV02, BV03, or BE B1. So pass. The brass 60. Did you see that Did you see the memeiest keyboard ever? I was posting on our Discord the other day. If you haven't seen this, it's the base kit keyboard.
Oh yeah.
I want to let's talk about this because this is fucking peak keyboard. I'm sending you the picture right now. This is like, if someone buys this, you guaranteed have a keyboard of the week victory.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So
this, like, unironically, I think this would be hilarious. I think this is a meme that the entire community would get behind.
It's like going there. It's like apparently going to happen. $420.69. Because why the fuck not? So for those who don't know, this is a keyboard. This is a usable keyboard. This might be the most usable keyboard. You have, if you want to type the number 5, you have 3 options to type the number 5. You have 3 options for page up and page down.
You know, this is where I have every kit for Metaverse.
Yeah.
This is the perfect board for my every kit of Metaverse to go on.
I think they should, this is no shit. I think they should sell this board with wall mountable screws.
I was literally thinking like, this would be sick as a wall mount.
A wall mount board, and then you just have it, you can type on it. And then how cool would it be if you designed a keycap set and then you like that was like art, right? Like this is like you put your keycap set mounted on this, not your board, but this board, showing off all of your work. This is this is the most unusable keyboard I have ever seen, but this is a cool ass fucking idea.
It actually, like, the more you think about it, like, for the novelty of it, it is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Especially like if you did design a key set and you want to show off the full base kit, like this could be in your house. Like you could get this in like a shadow box frame and put it up, or just make the whole thing wall mountable, make a nice little case for it, nice little cover. I do hope that they make it in a not, I think it's, the price is going to supposedly be $420.69. It would be funny as well if they made another version that was like even less expensive.
Yeah, I want to see Scott, not Scott. I want to see SM keyboards.
Oh,
Get a hold of this. Get a hold of these PCBs.
It's like $169.69.
Yeah.
That would be funny as well.
What percent board is this? Like 130, 140?
This is more than 140, I think. This is like 100 and unusable 50. Giving it
180%. It's any percent.
Yeah.
It's 100% and then the greater than.
This should be, it would be funny if this board became the standard for renders.
Yeah.
Like you had to render onto honestly, the base kit to see what your compatibility was.
Honestly, that's an amazing idea, because you can show, it's like, hey, you can hear 3 different colors. It's putting it against an anodization color, and you're seeing the full keycap set. The only thing, it's a little goofy when it comes to novelties, right? You don't get to see, there's not like a lot of novelties here, but again, you're never going to make every single person happy, but this is fucking hilarious, and I'm so glad that this exists.
Yeah, I can't wait for the base kit. I'm gonna have to save up my $420.69 so that I can purchase a base kit whenever they come out, because yeah, I think this will be a legendary meme. I think this is the best meme that the community has had in quite some time.
Yeah, this is the meme to end all memes. So let's get into keyboard of the week.
Yeah, we've got some good ones.
I'll show off my bottle though. I've got my Zap, got my Omnitype, the boys, the boys prime cap. It's gonna grow. It's gonna grow. So it's a little bare. It feels bare, but yeah, you know, it's been that's been working for a while. So excited to get. I need to get that like cleaned out. But yeah, let's look at some keyboard of the week. I think we only have like 4 submissions. 5.
We've got 5.
We got 5. Yeah.
First up, we've got DD Declines, V40 with some Artisan Friends, and G20 Semiotic. I don't even know what's going on here.
This is ugly as fuck, DD, and I respect you, but I'm mad.
This looks like, you know what this looks like? This looks like you took a controller from a Six Flags ride and you put some Artisans on it.
This looks like a colorized version of the drop-down menu for Wingdings.
Or you cut this out of like one of those rides that's like the 4D one where everything moves and it's like you're in the spaceship. These are all like the buttons. Like if you press any of them, you're gonna murder everyone.
For anybody who watched Yu-Gi-Oh, this is like the shit that's on the side of whenever Yu-Gi-Oh had to play a dice game instead of a card game.
Do you understand what any of these alphas mean?
I'm gonna try and guess. I'm gonna go just top to left to right, top to bottom. Spider Hospital, hockey goal, stock prices on a side, person with broad shoulders, some sort like the Boston Bruins flag, bridge, no fucking clue. Soccer goal, someone falling upside down, but they've been choking. Outdoor hockey goal. I'll let you take row 2.
Row 2? Okay. I don't know. Checkerboard.
There it is. Ramen.
Ramen. There we go. The next two look like, so it's like two different arenas for Pokemon battles.
Yep.
So two Pokemon arenas. Emergency room. The guy who needs to go to the emergency room.
Yep.
The rival Pokemon battle stage, and then we'll go with a technology company logo.
Yep.
A even more modern technology company logo, and then what LinkedIn's rebrand will be in the next 5 years.
The old school Vancouver Canucks logo, but someone forgot to put the Vancouver logo on it. What LinkedIn's new logo will be in 15 years once the one from that one up goes out. That sign will be the sign where it's like you're allowed to congregate here because people don't realize they can congregate because of COVID. Another soccer goal.
Dude, that's Richland Community College's logo.
Yeah. Battery, slingshot, bullseye, The Incredibles 3, keyboard or calculator, Pong.
There you go. We'll go this last row. We've got a another reticle there for your sights.
A CS:GO.
Yeah, there you go. And then the trough things in Mario games, the little gaps. Sad face. 8-bit feels good, man. That's what that is. Murdered. Pong.
Yep.
Guy
The
who's
Incredibles
mad.
4, Death of Mr. Incredible.
Yeah. Sad. Sleepy orange man. Someone who's in trouble. Those slides that you go on in the little potato sacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. And then the last one, Walmart Pokemon. That's what that is. That's the Walmart Pokemon logo.
Boom. We did it.
We spent way too much time on DD's.
Oh, we absolutely did, but it was worth it. Hashtag everything is content, right? That's a thing, right?
Sure.
DD, this is one of those things where it's like, never have I been so offended by something I completely agree with.
All right.
It exists. We got a really cool board next, though. We have a 40s Ergo Bolt by Lazy Designers with pandas, plate foam, and DSS neon knights. And that key butt.
Yeah. Here, I'll show them.
Yeah, that key butt.
Man.
Ooh.
Is that a stainless? Yeah. Yes. Couldn't tell if it was stainless.
Yeah.
Or if it was coating. But yeah, stainless steel bottom. Pretty freaking crazy. I think this proves there's a lot you can do with stacked acrylic. You can just throw a stainless steel butthole on it and it be even more beautiful. Yeah, I love the top, the bolt as well. I think that's really cool.
It's just a cool fucking board, like top to bottom. Got the Monstera desk mat under it by Genly Queen. So solid board. Next up,
dude, this thing is murdered out.
It's lit. This thing, we got a lot of 40s in here. That's what, 3, 4,
giant
5.
Picture.
This is cool. So this is an ABQ in matte black, stainless steel plate, vent blacks, Luba 205 grade 0, Durox stabs with black HUB caps with an artisan. I don't know if he came in, but and said it. This is clean. Like this, I love that he went with vent blacks too. Like just for the full experience.
I like the murdered out look. It reminds me a little bit of, obviously because of the top and the full murdered out, the all black HHKB.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, this thing looks cool. I wouldn't know how to use it just because I already don't know how to use 40s. Take my legends away.
So many rules.
Yeah. Take my legends away. This is definitely one that would be hard for me to use, but it does look mighty beautiful.
So what do we have next?
Next
we have a paw in here.
Yeah, it's like a nod to last week. So we've got a paw, but the main board, it's a prime Elise polycarb bottom, a paw, and then a bind pad T with his straight edge caps on there, the XXX. For those of you who are not familiar with what straight edge is, it's signified by the XXX. It means don't partake in drugs or alcohol. But yes, this looks great. I like 8008. I actually have 8008 on my Alice style board right now, and I think it looks great. I have this same setup, but in big boy style. Yeah, I think this looks really good. Looks really good.
Yeah. So next up, another 40s board, a Cahal with DSA paperwork. Love that knob. This is just a cool board.
Dude, talk about a booty. This thing is beautiful.
Right.
That sounds so bad. Say it like that.
You know, we say before you log in, this is an adult stream.
Hey, true. You do have to
we let everyone know that we curse and sometimes talk about
is the USB port the butthole? Then the anatomy of a keyboard? Is that a yes? I'll take it.
So the next up. Damn it. Okay. So we got the J80.
We didn't even talk about the call.
The call. All right. So the call. I need my glasses to see. Excellent. Love what you did. God damn it. I can't get through this. Oh, all right. I mean, I love the knob on this thing, and
it looks really good. I think DSA paperwork looks great too. It gets me excited for DCS paperwork, which will be available at 3D Cubes later this year. Yeah, I think it looks good. As well as Reverberate says that this is one of the only boards that utilizes the knob and it makes it look really, really good. And I think that's correct. It looks very in place on this board. On the other ones, it seems a little forced.
It's
yeah, it looks in place.
Yeah.
All right, you back? You back, Dave?
I'm back. J80 Cherry Hyperglides OG Cherry double shots with the Cherry sticker. This is like 1960s. What 1960s thought the 2000s would be in a keyboard.
I love that you've put like an old watch,
right? The old little Timex.
You got the nice the calculator, and you've even got the Topro Real Force. A little bit of nostalgia in there for a lot of people. Yeah, it looks good. Also, even the picture kind of looks a little bit the way it's like, I guess, edited or lit looks a little bit older. Yeah, this looks really cool. This would actually look really good on a calendar too, by the way. I was thinking
for this one. Yeah, I was thinking about that one. I've got my two options. What are you picking?
gonna do. I think I'm gonna do this.
Yeah. I was gonna do the 8008 Primal Lease, but this was next up. Although shout out to Static, the runner up 100%. That bolt board is fantastic. So let me get this poll up and running, and then
Absolutely. While he does that, so these will be your two options. Have our is this all right? So these are your two options. We've got nice J80 Cherry Hyperglides OG Cherry double shots with the cherry sticker, bringing it out in full, and a plugged butthole. This one has the cable is soldered in, and then we've got the Prime Elise polycarbonate bottom. Both these look really good.
yeah, absolutely. So quick shout to our awesome sponsors. We've got OmniType first up. You can pick up do you like this board? Do you like this keycap set? Well, you can buy it right now, and it will show up in like 18 months. But GMK Botanical Round 2 is running right now. If you want to go pick that up, I highly recommend it. It's a fantastic key set. So you pick that up, use our link in the chat right now. Helps us out, helps us continue the channel. Next up, Project Keyboards. Why don't you show off a little GMK Bingsu? If you want the round 2 of that key set, you can go to Project Keyboards, use our link. It helps us out as well. Bingsu round 2 running right now. So be sure to check that out. You can go to candykeys.com/mexontech. GMK Foundation running right now, as well as the Anubis switches and GMK Moomin running right now too. We'll talk about Moomin next week. I'm excited to discuss that. But Anubis switches are up there too. If you want to try out the Anubis switches, we definitely recommend you grabbing some. And then kineticlabs.store/mexondeck. You see they announced the new Octopus keycap set. So now we're going to have maybe a purple themed and a blue themed, and we've got the white. Very excited that they're going to be releasing lots of different caps. So really, really cool there. And then if you're wanting to, honestly, Eric and I are all about those symmetric springs right now, especially the 69 gram for tactiles. So go pick up a bag. They're like $13. I've literally got fucking 2 of them sitting right here because I just love these damn springs. So next up, we've got quick shout out 3D Keyb's owner, operator, Davis. It's her birthday today. So go wish her a happy birthday.
Whoop, whoop.
Go ping her in our Discord, ping her in her Discord. It's her birthday. It's a happy birthday, Davis. Go check out 3D Keybs. They've got a lot of cool stuff on there. They've got those the sunflower palm switches that I've been really, really enjoying. So be sure to snag some of those. Zap Cables. Zap Cables makes some of the best cables. Eric and I use them. You can build your own, or you can pick up some of the runs that he does. He's also got some awesome desk mats. Type Beast. Go to typebea.st if you're wanting to get in the hobby. Maybe instead of listening to us talk, you want to watch. You want to just read something real quick by a guy that is really, really great on paper and in person. Go to typebea.st for an amazing newsletter. And lastly, Smith and Rune. You can go to smithrune.com. Iron 180 and Iron 165 extras will be in a while, and the Iron 165 polycarb out later this year. So, and shouts to them because it was cool talking to him last week after stream for just a brief moment, and then of course Bonambi did an amazing job. So
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
did you see? So I want to apologize to anyone who got the wrong impression about our stream. Langlandia, friend of the channel. Quakeums from Top Clack, another great friend of the channel. And Vox himself were having an intense discussion of affection.
They were just they were joining the Kiss a Homie meta.
Exactly. They were vibing. They were feeling it and showing each other their affection, and it was captured in a screenshot used to promote the fact that she did a great job on her stream. She really liked it. And some people thought that it was maybe not safe
They
for
were
her
like,
to be here.
"Are you okay?"
Are you okay? I was like, she responds, said, nope, that literally was my husband and his friends. If anyone feels like they are unsafe in this, please reach out to myself or Eric and we'll happily address the situations. We typically don't have too many issues around here, Mechs on Deck. You know, we're just a bunch of geezers talking about keyboards all the time. Like we're pretty fortunate that we don't have a lot, but again, sorry about that happened and if that offended anybody. And again, if you have any issues with people in our chat, please reach out to us, reach out to a moderator. Just reach out. The worst thing that can happen is that you never watch us again, but at least we're able to address the issue.
Yeah.
So
True. Absolutely. Well, I think the winner, we have a winner.
Yep.
Mr. Scott W's GMK 8008 small board, the Prime Elise with the paw. So we'll have 2 paws eligible for keyboard of the month here in next week, I believe.
Yep.
And the bind pad, which I must say looks like a device that if you were to hold that and punch someone, you would get arrested because that would be considered a weapon. Looks somewhat like
right
brass knuckles without the covering.
What's the rule? Like if you hold something that's like an inch wide, like you should carry around like a casing or something.
Yeah, because it's like the people used to hold like a roll of quarters or something.
Yeah, and that would like increase. That would prevent. It would be harder.
It's harder for you to break your hand or break your fingers, but your fist swings
becomes also
faster and harder.
Yeah,
things that we know. Why?
Yes.
Hey.
Who fucking knows? So we're gonna throw it on over to Tiny because I've been meeting Switch Doctor AU. Hello, we're about to leave. Welcome to the stream. We're about to close up. No, but tomorrow we're gonna have Neflock on. I'm gonna start the raid up for Tiny. No, tomorrow we're gonna have Neflock on. We're gonna talk about more keycap designs, key set design, as well as working with novel keys. Novel keys has been really cool to like follow on Instagram lately. If you haven't followed them, they've been doing some cool stuff. And then this Saturday, I'll be rebuilding my Bakaneko 60 at noon. So tomorrow, Neflock, 8 p.m. Central, and Saturday, noon Central, Bakaneko 60 with me.
Absolutely. And we're gonna be closing it up for the night. What switches are you using in the Bakaneko?
Holy T1s.
There we go.
74 gram springs.
Let's get it. But yes, we're closing up for tonight. Go have fun in Tiny's stream. Say hello. We'll see you tomorrow night. Y'all have a good night. Bye-bye.